Well, hello everyone. As I said before, I will answer two questions related to the unit that we're covering, which is units, I believe 7. It's all about strings. I do have two questions here. I'm going to upload those files, of course, later after I'm done. I'm going to start with the easy one, which is example 2. In example 2, basically, you are asked to create a string that will hold a code. And then you need to tell me how many spaces are in this code. So I started the program by creating this code string, and here it is. However bad life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. While there's life, there's hope. So how do I find out how many spaces do I have here? Well, we do have multiple options. Option number 1. Well, actually, it's not just one option. Let's go straight to the method. I need to have a for loop that will go through all the characters. And then for each character, I need to check if it's a space or not. And after that, we can have a counter that will count how many spaces. So I need basically to have a variable, integer, that will tell me how many characters do I have in this code. And this, let's call it length. And this length basically will equal code dot length. So here we go. This is my first variable. I'm trying to figure out how many characters do I have. I can call it length. I can call it size. I will go with size. Let's go with size. Second thing, I need to have a counter. Integer counter. And let's set this to 0. That's the counter that I'm going to use to figure out how many spaces do I have. Or you can call it counter for spaces or whatever you want to call it. Now, what would I do after that? Let's go ahead and create a for loop. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's go with a for loop. For integer I equals 0, as long as I is less than the size, which basically represents the number of characters, and increase I by 1. I'm going to open curly brace and close it, and now let's go ahead and start the process. What do I need to do here? First of all, I need to have access to each character. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up here and create a character variable, and I'll call it C. And I will come here and say C equal, I'm not using really good names here. Let's call it string character. String CHR. So let's go ahead and do the same thing here. String CHR. HAR, sorry. Okay, what is that going to equal? That's basically going to equal code dot at character. And what is a character that I'm looking? I'm just going to go ahead and use the I character index. Now he's complaining about something. The add character is undefined. Well, it is defined. Let me just go back to at. Oh, wait a minute, not at character, at index. I didn't have my breakfast yet. Well, even that is not working. Let me just go back to the PowerPoint really quick. Try to remember what. You know what? That will take even longer time. Let's just go ahead and type string method Java at character. Let's see if that's character. Oh, hate it. Character at. My bad. CHAR at. Okay, so now I extracted the the method, the character. Now all I have to do and check if it's a space or not. If, and I will say string character dot is white space. Now this one I remember. And he doesn't like it. is white space. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, my bad. I just remembered what I want. You put the character here, and you put character, the keyword, character. Here we go. Now, what am I saying here? If that character with its right string is a white space, then counter plus. Now, after that, you have to leave the body of the loop and show me how many characters did you have. System.out.println. And I'm going to count them manually first, and then I will show you how much characters you actually have in this program. So let's go ahead here. We got 1 space, 2 space, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's see if I didn't make any mistakes here. And here we go, 20. So that was a succeed. Let me just tell you, go back to the places where I made mistakes. This is where I made a mistake. I typed add character, it's character add. And I made a mistake here. You have to type the name of the class, which is character, dot is a white space, and then you put the character here. And that will be the end of example 2. And as you can see, it's very short, it's very easy, it's very simple. Now, if I want to modify it and tell me how many uppercases letters are here, or how many digits are here, if there is any, how many lower cases are there, how many punctuation marks are here. Well, that will be interesting to do. Anyway, think about that and try to get it done by yourself. Let's go ahead and move on to the second question, which is a little bit longer. What do we have here? Well, you are asked to create an application that will check if you have a string where you can read it forward or backward, it will have the same number of characters. And you have some examples here. For example, Dot saw I was Todd. If you read it from left to right or right to left, you will get the same thing. Was it a car or a cat I saw? That's another case. If you read it forward, backward, it will give you the same same number of characters. And by the way, here you have to pay attention to something. I'm not counting spaces here, so you have to take the spaces out, you have to take the punctuation out if there is any, and then put all the characters, just the characters all together, and you do forward backward, you get the same characters. And the same thing is applied, Madame, I am Adam. Again, if you take all the spaces out and you take that punctuation mark out and the comma out, and you put them all together, you read it forward, backwards, you get the same. So how do I make sure that, well, basically, first of all, you're going to have to ask the user. He wants you to ask the user to enter a phrase, and then after that to check it. Palindrome, that's basically what it's called. Okay, the idea here is basically you need to have 2 strings. And 1 string where you have all the characters. Remember, I'm gonna assume that there's no numbers. I'm gonna assume I'm gonna have, well, you know what, even if there's numbers, I'm not gonna take numbers under consideration, so just gonna go with characters. We'll just assume there's no numbers here. So I'm gonna have to take all the spaces out, all the punctuation out, and convert all the lower cases, upper cases to lower cases, and put that in a string. And then after that, I'm going to read that string in a reverse order, character by character. And as I'm reading those characters, I am going to add them to a new string. And then after that, oh, you know what? I don't even have to do that. Yes, let's just do that. Yes. After I do that, I compare the 2 strings that I'm going to produce and see if they're exactly the same or not. So this problem could be divided into multiple stages. The first stage basically is to ask the user for the input. Scanner user in equal new scanner, and you type here, of course, that double quotation system dot n. Of course, we need to import the scanner. Now you can see here I have it at the top. Now after that, I will say string phrase. Okay, what am I going to put in this phrase? Well, I'm going to ask the user to enter something. So before I actually do that, let's go ahead and create a system .out.print. Without print line, just put a print, and let's just put the message here. And enter phrase. Just go ahead and enter a phrase. Okay. Now in this area, I'm going to ask the user to user in dot next. Now let me try to remember. Next will give you one word, but if you go with next line, you can have spaces. Since I'm not having multiple inputs, I'll just keep that. That will be more than enough. And let's just go do this before we forget. User in dot close. Okay. Now that I got the user to enter the string, what I need to do, I need to convert all the uppercases to lower cases, and I need to have a new string that contains the characters only. So I'm going to create a new string here. String, I'll call it str forward. str forward. Okay, let me just make sure that I didn't misspell it here. Yep, I didn't. What am I? Okay. By the way, while I'm just working, I'm listening to news most of the time, trying to figure out and find out when this mess will be over. Okay, so here we go. This is my string. Just keep it empty. Now, let's say, what do we do now? We need to have a for loop that will go for the length of the original phrase. So I'm going to create an integer. Let's call this orig. Yeah, orig length. And this is going to be phrase. Where is it? Phrase dot length. Did I? PHRASE. Why are you complaining here? Change to phrase. Oh, uppercase. Well, why did I put it as an uppercase to start? It's lowercase. Okay, now I got the links. Now let's go ahead and create a for loop. For integer I equals 0, I is less than org length, and then I++. Now remember, the first step here is to ask the user for the input. The second step here is to have your string, the phrase that we just created here, that the user is going to enter, and take out all the spaces, take out all the punctuation marks, and convert all the uppercases to lower cases and put them in the new string, and I call it str forward. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to type a character, just like we had before. That'll make it a little bit easier, character, and I will call it orig character. Okay, original character, so origchar equal phrase dot, let's do it again, character at, and I'll put I. Now the first step, I got the character. Now, I need to make sure it's not a white, I need to make sure it's a digit, it's a letter. So if, and I will put ORIG, well, it's not that, remember, character dot is letter, and I will put ORIG character. So if it's a letter, that's very important. What are you going to do if it's a letter? Well, number one, I need to make sure after that, if it's an uppercase or lowercase. If it's an uppercase, convert it to lowercase. If it's a lowercase, just don't do anything. So remember here, this is my for loop. Inside the for loop, first of all, I'm going to extract character by character. And then for each character that I'm going to extract, I'm going to check if it's a letter or not. If it's a letter, I'm going to consider it. If it's not a letter, then just go ahead and continue with the for loop. Now, before we start considering those letters, we need to check if it's an uppercase or lowercase. And remember, I'm not going to put and here. I'm going to put it here. First of all, check if it's a letter. And I take it as an uppercase, lowercase, it doesn't matter. And then after that, I check if it's an uppercase. And if it's an uppercase, convert it to lowercase, and then continue. So I'll say if. This is the case where you should have two if statements inside each other, not using and or. Character dot is upper case, and you put ORIG character. And here we go. Well, why you're complaining here? Character. We're missing an A here. No, we're not. CHARA. Oh, look at this. T. Okay, is an uppercase. Now, if it's an uppercase, all I have to do is convert it to a lowercase. So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to take orig character equal character dot to lowercase, and you put ORIG character. So here we go. Those steps that I'm just highlighting here, basically I'm checking if it's a letter. Now, if it's a letter, I do another check if it's an uppercase. If it's an uppercase, convert to lowercase. So by the time I get to this line here, I'll get only characters with lowercases. All I have to do is just add them to my string. So my str forward string plus equal character. Let's see, yep, I guess that it's not going to accept it. Let's see here. How do we do this? I'm going to have to take this out. And I am going to have to come here and assign this to an empty space. Just nothing. Okay. What method do we have that we can actually insert a character into a string? I'm now giving us mixed up feelings or mixed up thoughts about the string builder and string. Well, I can use a string builder here, but I decided to go with a string. Let me think a little bit. So I just need to have str for word plus equal. Now, other programming languages allow you to do that. That's why I'm a little bit confused here. But I'm trying to add a character. Now, if I can convert this character to a string, that would make it a lot easier. Well, guess what? We do have two string. And let me put ORG character. And I think all I have to do is to come here and type character. No, he didn't like it. Well, did I see it or not? Let me just do a little research, okay? You guys can, okay. Actually, you can use this to help you out. Every time you find yourself stuck at a point, let's go ahead and ask Mr. Google. Java, add a character. I'm pretty sure it's going to be character to a string. Util. Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, yep, just like I thought. String buffer. I was trying to avoid it. I didn't want to use it, but he's forcing me to append a single character to a string in Java. Insert a string into another string. No. String builder, convert a character to a string. That could be something. So here it is. This is a character, string, value. Oh, what are you doing here? Ugh. Okay. I will allow. Again, this is not pause for this site. Okay, enjoy your life. Allow. So string value of C. And then string character. Yeah, I just tried that. It didn't work. The value he converted to a string. Let's see here. Character to a string. And C is a character. I just tried that. It didn't work. Let's try that again. Oh, why did I take that out? Control Z. Oh, yeah. Get me again. An A. And here we go. That was an easy fix. Okay, so here's what I just did here. I have my original str forward that has nothing. And then every time I pass all these tests and I get a new lowercase character, I convert that character to a string and I add it to the string forward. Now, at this is going to be the end of the first phase or two phases. It's a good idea to try your code before you continue, because you want to make sure it works at this point, so next time when you try it again, you know the mistake, that if any mistake happens, is not this part. So I'm going to give it a try now. So let's just go ahead and put it this way. I'm going to say A, B, C, D, comma, space, R, T, U, U, Y, U, U, Y, space, or dot, this, comma, test, with a number. And we'll see here, as you can see here, A, B, C, D, R, T, U, Y, and this, T, S. Okay, it looks like it's working perfectly fine until this point. Okay, now, after this, let's just put it for testing. Let's just put, this is stage or step 2. Let's go ahead and do stage 1. Stage 1. I am not going to consider stage 1. I'm not going to consider the user input as a stage. So here we go. Now stage 2, what do we do with stage 2? Well, we need to have another string. So I'm going to go and create a new string here. String, I'm going to call this one str back. I'm going to assign it again to nothing, just like we did. Okay, so what am I supposed to do here? Well, I'm supposed to scan, let's just put it this way, scan this str forward string, but backward instead of forward. Previously, with the for loop that we have, we go with the first character, second character, third character, until we get to the last character. Now what I need to do, I need to do the same thing, only the opposite order, from the last character to the first character. So here's what I'm going to do. There are multiple ways to do that, but I will use something different. First of all, I need to have a new variable. Let's just go ahead and create that here. Okay, it's another integer, and this, well, you know what? Let me just create it here. It's an integer, and I'm going to go for word length. And this is going to be str for word dot length. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to figure out how many characters do I have in this new string that I just created. Now, look what I'm going to do here. I'm going to say while for word length, as long as this number is greater than 0. As long as this number, again, I'm talking about number of characters. As long as this number is greater than 0, I'm going to keep going in this while loop. Remember something here. I'm trying to complete the process in a reverse order. So the first thing I'm going to do, I need to have access to a character. And what was the variable that we had for that? We call it original character. Well, this time, I don't want the original character. I'm going to go ahead and create a new character. But you know what, again, it will make a lot more sense if I just keep all my variables for the second stage separately. So I'm going to put them here. So this is going to be my back, str, back, and I'm going to have a new character. This character is basically going to be called for word character. I'll put it here. Okay, so what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to have access to that backward character, to the last, to the character from that forward character. But again, I'm trying to have access to from the last character all the way to the first character. Now remember, length by itself will tell you how many characters do you have. The location of the character or the index of the character or the whatever you want to call it, it's always the number of characters minus 1. For example, and I wish you could see my fingers right now because I'm using them as an example. If you have, let's say, a word that contains 5 characters, so the first characters will have a position of 0, the second character will have a position of 1, the third character will have a position of 3, and the fourth, 2, and the fourth character will have a position of 3, and the fifth character will have a position of 4. So the location of the character is always represented by the size minus the last character, especially the size minus 1. So I need to come here and start by decreasing the size. And what I can do, I can actually, let's just do that here. For word length minus. So now I got the actual index, the one that I'm looking for. And after that, I need to have access to the character. I'll just go ahead and copy it. Where is it? Character. Here it is. Well, you know what? It's a lot easier if I just type it. So I have the characters called for word character equal, and we are trying to have access to the forward str for word dot add character, again character add, and I'll put, I'm not using for loop here. Oh, it will make it a lot easier if I go with a for loop. But again, I told you before, guys, you can go with any one of them. I just decided to go with while loop here. Okay, so here we go. This is me having access to that character. Now, all I have to do, I don't need to check for anything. I just need to just add it, just like we did here, to the string. So I'll come here and say str, oops, where did I go? Str back, let's change this to the uppercase B, back plus equal. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to add this character to it. Remember, we cannot add a character to a string, so I have to convert it to character dot to string. And you come here and just type, what is that character? Copy it and put it here. I am done. I am 100% done. Now, all I have to do after this is to compare both of them and see if I'm actually getting the same thing or not. Actually, I'm going to get the same thing if and only if the condition that we're talking about here. It's a palindrome. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this away, and I'm going to show, oh, this is for test, and I'm going to copy this and put it here. I'm going to take them out. Do this for test, and let's just go str back. Well, I just realized I made another mistake. Where is it? This is supposed to be capital F. Oh, let me show you some trick. Let's see if Eclipse actually realized that. Control C, Control F. This is the word that I'm looking for. I want to replace it with uppercase F. This is beautiful. Replace all. And here we go. Get it. All replaced without the need for me to go and do it manually. So this is going to be for test. Let's just run it and give it a try. First of all, I'm going to try something simple. ADAM. And yes, ADAM, MADA. Let's start putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, they're numbers. My bad. I forgot about that. Nothing. Let's just go ASD, F, DSA. As you can see, they're exactly the same. Let me put something different. I'll just go QRTU, and you say it's reversed. CUYTREW and Q. So obviously, it's working. All I have to do now is just to check if those are exactly the same or not. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use, well, before we use anything, since this is for testing, I'm just going to come here and take it out. And I'm going to take this out as well. And I'm just going to come here before I close, and I'll just say, here it is. If, and look at this, str forward, dot equals. Now, should I use equals or equals ignore the case? I want you to think about that, okay? What was the other one? It's str back. If that's the case, okay, why are you complaining here? Control C, Control V. Here we go. I had to stick with the spelling. Now, if they're equal, so system dot out dot print line, and we'll just use one of those. Okay. Again, my mouse. What am I doing? Here we go. Okay. The phrase is and then we'll just put an else here, just in case it's not. Control C, and just put a big knot. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I am going to test those. Dot saw I was taught. Let's see if I can actually use it. If I run it. Paste. Take it, yes. Okay, so that worked. Was it a car or a cat I saw? Let's copy that. Run it again. Press enter. It is. Let's try the same phrase, but I'm just going to add a simple character here. Why? It's not. And I guess that's it for today. I'm going to post this video later, and just remember, if you have any questions, send them to me. Thank you for watching, and I hope I see you guys soon. Bye.